For 11 seasons, Bayern Munich, who has been the champion in the Bundesliga, is seriously in a state of upheaval this year. Bayern Munich, which seems to be the sole ruler of German football, recently lost 3-0 to Bayer Leverkusen, the flash team of the year, and fell 5 points behind with 13 weeks left in the Bundesliga. The poor performance of the team in this match disappointed the fans greatly. In fact, they cannot reflect the dominant game of the past years on the field this season. Coach Tuchel's seat is shaky, and after 11 years, they might be farther from becoming champions than ever before. Many football enthusiasts attribute the team's poor performance in the league this season to Harry Kane's curse. Let's all look at the reasons for this decline and why Bayern is in turmoil. We know how dominant Bayern Munich is both in German and world football. The team is an example of German discipline, even if the German national team is not doing well. They have always been one of the strong teams. Their dominance in the Bundesliga has been tremendous for the past 11 seasons. They have been champions, actually. One reason for their success in the local league is that they quickly adapt the best players in the country to the team, creating such authority in Germany that there is no team that could be a financial threat to them. However, this year, their championship streak seems to be ending as Bayern approaches the final weeks of the Bundesliga. With Xabi Alonso's work, Bayer Leverkusen, one of the best teams of the year, is leading them by 5 points. Bayer Leverkusen has not been defeated in the league since the beginning of the season, and it doesn't seem likely that they will lose points. This indicates that Bayern's championship streak might end. Bayern fans, who are not used to this situation, have been talking about disturbances in the team since Nagelsmann's departure. According to the fans, the current squad is perhaps the worst Bayern of recent years, and this might be traced back to Nagelsmann's arrival. If we go back to 2021, the most potential coach of the period was undoubtedly the young coach Julian Nagelsmann. No one else would have come to mind. Nagelsmann, who was considered a promising coach, could not escape from Bayern's grasp. However, Bayern couldn't move freely this time. They had to open their wallets. In the summer of 2021, they acquired the potential coach for a whopping 25 million euros. This transfer fee made Nagelsmann the most expensive coach in the world during the Nagelsmann era. Reinforcements like Upamecano, Main, Delight, who could form the backbone of the team, were made. However, despite these reinforcements, some consider the transfers made for the future during Nagelsmann's tenure not sufficient. Although expectations in Europe were not met during his tenure, they continued their championship streak in the Bundesliga without any losses. However, the 2022-2023 season would not be a good one for Nagelsmann. A terrible start to the season, losing a match to Leverkusen 2-1 on March 24th, where Nagelsmann went skiing, caused a great commotion in Bayern. This commotion resulted in Nagelsmann's dismissal from the job. Although this sensational separation shocked many people, of course, the only reason for dismissal was not the skiing holiday. Losing points in 9 out of 21 matches in the Bundesliga, Nagelsmann's poor relationship with the players, not understanding their psychology, constant dissatisfactory statements from the management. With some reasons like these, Nagelsmann's unexpected separation occurred. After this separation, Tuchel, who left Chelsea quickly, was appointed as the coach. Although the arrival of the coach created a positive atmosphere at first, after a while, they experienced point losses and bad games. Manchester City was eliminated in the Champions League quarterfinals, and there were serial point losses in the Bundesliga. This bad course brought Borussia Dortmund, who was in second place in the league, closer to them. When they entered the 33rd week, they lost 3-1 to Red Bull Leipzig at home. And as a result of this unusual situation, Bayern entered the last week in second place. And perhaps for the first time in years, they came close to losing the championship. However, thanks to Dortmund, they did not spoil their chances of winning the championship last week when a win would be enough. For them, they drew to 2-2. And Bayern did not make a mistake in their Cologne away match. And they couldn't break this championship streak, although they won the championship in the last week of the turbulent season. The fact that there was no dominant game during Tuchel's first half season with them indicated that the next season might be more problematic for him. Shortly after this miraculous championship, it was announced that the club's CEO Oliver Kahn and sports director Salihamidzic were parting ways. The separations could change the balance of the team. as these two names, who made the club function like a machine, left the team at the same time, after the vacancy created by the departure. Christoph Freud, one of the most important figures of the Red Bull football project and working for Salzburg, was appointed as the sports director. This change had an immediate effect. They acquired Kim Min-jae from Napoli for a high fee and Harry Kane for a record transfer fee. Some German sources mentioned Harry Kane's transfer as embarrassing, because it did not fit the club's transfer strategy and structure. Although Bayern Munich started the season quite well, they were one step behind Bayer Leverkusen, who performed extraordinarily during the season. They experienced a great shock when they lost 5-1 in Frankfurt during the season, in the Champions League. Their performances were a bit lower than in previous years. All these processes in the first half of the season led to great criticism of Tuchel. Indeed, Tuchel's 4-2-3-1 system applied to Bayern was far from the fast and dominant football we were used to seeing. On the last day of the winter transfer season, they acquired Sashboy from Galatasaray, who played quite well against Bayern, although it was expected that the rest of the season would go better with the transfers. The Leverkusen match they played recently revealed the team's deficiencies. Coach Thomas Tuchel tried a major formation change in such an important match by trying the 3-back defense. Sashboy played as a left wing back in this formation, which he was not used to. Maybe for the first time in his career, not only Bowie, but the positions of many important players in the team were also different. This unrealistic tactic did not work in this match, and it caused them to have a nightmare match, losing 3-0 to Leverkusen, falling 5 points behind the top. The poor formation during the match, players go in beyond their roles, no one taking responsibility, and Harry Kane not receiving decent balls, made us watch the worst Bayern Munich of recent years. After the match, team captain Müller, with great anger, said to the broadcasting institution, "I am very angry. There should be energy and confidence in the team. We are greatly lacking in this area," criticizing both the coach and the players. One of the biggest reasons why Bayern isn't in a good situation this season is perhaps the ongoing issue with injuries, particularly affecting key players like Coman, Upamecano, and Alphonso Davies. These players, who are arguably the backbone of the team, have suffered greatly from injuries this season, which has significantly disrupted the team's chemistry. Now, let's discuss a different and interesting theory: Harry Kane's cup curse. The English footballer has never won any official cups throughout his career, losing all 5 finals he has played in and finishing at most second in league competitions. When he joined Bayern Munich during the summer transfer window for a record fee, Kane stated in his first remarks that he came here to win big trophies, always motivated by the dream of competing at the highest level. The English player's statements were reflected on the field, as he had a fantastic start to his Bayern career, with almost 60% of the season completed. Kane currently has 28 goals and 8 assists in 28 matches. However, some Bayern fans and football enthusiasts believe that he has brought his cup curse to Bayern. Since Kane's arrival, Bayern Munich has lost the German Super Cup, been eliminated by 3 league teams in the German Cup early rounds, and fallen 5 points behind Bayer Leverkusen, the league leader, with 13 weeks left in the season, dealing a significant blow to their championship aspiration, despite Kane's superb season, leading the goal-scoring charts. Do you think the theory of Kane's cup curse is realistic for a player who has never won a cup throughout his career? I await everyone's comments. In conclusion, Bayern Munich has experienced a noticeable decline in performance since Tuchel took over. A decline that is specific to Bayern because they are not used to finishing second or losing points to weaker opponents. This situation has almost completely divided the fans. While some insist that Tuchel should remain in charge, others want former coach Hans Flick to return. However, there doesn't seem to be any change at the moment, following the Leverkusen match. Sports director Freund stated that there would be no changes and expressed their confidence in Tuchel, saying they would continue on the same path. I believe the second-round match against Lazio in the Champions League, aside from the league, will be decisive. If they achieve poor results, the German coach might be on his way out because Bayern, as a big team, doesn't tolerate poor performances for long. Even though Bayern played football this year, resulting in the lowest goal averages in recent years, Tuchel and Bayern's chemistry haven't clicked, despite a turbulent season. Bayern Munich's strong leadership suggests that if they have a bad season, they'll take revenge soon. As I mentioned earlier, perhaps the problem lies not with Tuchel, but with Harry Kane's cup curse. Do you think Bayern Munich can lose the championship this season after a long time? I look forward to hearing everyone's opinions.